Hello, everyone. Hair chick. Welcome. Ooh, that's a new icon. What is that? YouTube's changing on me, I feel like, pretty often. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another live reading. This is our December live reading night. So if you are new here, welcome. Please subscribe. We do these videos. Sorry, I forgot to check to make sure that was stable-ish. Okay. But we do these videos once a month here on YouTube, but we actually do them way more often over on Patreon. So if you want to join us on Patreon, you will see me quite a bit more often throughout the month. But yeah, subscribe. We have a new video coming out this week that I'm super excited about, and it is all about the Lenormand cards. And I actually have them here tonight. We are going to play around a little bit with them. Anyone that donates tonight will get a Lenormand card pull as well. I am going to go ahead and set my timer for my members. So when this timer goes off, I will basically give whoever is a member who comments closest a free reading. So how tonight works is that basically we do donations first. So you can donate through Super Chat or through Venmo. And that kind of just gets you to the top of my list. If you don't want to donate, that's totally fine. We also do free readings. And we play guessing games once we get through our donation list. And whoever guesses the thing I'm thinking of can win quick short reading. So that's kind of how it works. We do also start the night with kind of like an outline of the energy and what we're talking about, which tonight I wanted to talk about the full moon that we've got coming up tomorrow, full moon in Gemini. And we'll do a group reading for that. And we also just talk about announcements as well. So hello, everyone. Hello, beautiful connection, Adrian and Laura. I have been well. And to kind of segue into my announcements, I've been a busy person. Basically, I just finished my new psychic development course. It is done being filmed. I finished it last week. I feel like I'm still recovering. I still can't believe it's finally done. It took a really long time to write it. I basically watched every single one of my videos and courses over again to write this masterclass course. And now I just get to do the fun part of editing it. And that's I'm gonna take the rest of the year to just chill, and then I'm gonna get to it at the beginning of next year. But I'm done filming, and that's kind of the biggest one of the biggest things I've been putting off. Writing was definitely first. So yeah, that is done. And that is also why you haven't seen me around a whole lot. I've been trying to cut back on the amount of stuff I'm creating just so that I can get that course done. No promises, but I'm hoping that after the new year, I can maybe start making more video uploads or more live nights. Don't want to, again, promise anything, but kind of my hope. We'll see. I just feel like I'm MIA and not online as much anymore. And I want to make more content. When you're in that really creative, inspired space and you just want to put stuff out. That's where I am. But I've been channeling it all into my course and a bunch of things that you guys will eventually see. But right now it just looks like I've disappeared. However, if you are on Patreon or you're interested in Patreon, again, there is a lot more content over there. For example, you get early access to all of my weekly videos. So the video that's going to go up this Saturday, my Patreon members are getting access to that either tomorrow night or the following morning. So they're getting to see all of those videos ahead of time. What else do you get on Patreon? I also do a coaching Q&A on Patreon. So every month I open it up for questions. You can ask me anything you want, and then basically I answer it all in one video. I'm about to go ahead and do that for this month. So if you have questions, non-psychic related questions, questions about developing your abilities, that is a good place to jump on over and get into that. And then we also have psychic game night. So our psychic game night is going to be a week from tonight. And we have a member live night, which is the following week after that. And that's just here on YouTube, but it's just a private, smaller group. And everyone basically gets readings. And the psychic game night, we play a bunch of psychic development games. Is that all you get with Patreon? I think so. You also get credits in my videos. You guys might see that towards the end. So if you're on Patreon, you do see me a lot more. Otherwise, I will see you all at the beginning of January 2023. Crazy. Thank you guys. Hey, Silly Rabbit. Have you done any videos on orbs? I have done a video on orbs. However, it's more about like what orbs are not. And I kind of break down like what orbs are not. If you want to know what colors mean, I would check out my video. I think I did it on auras, and I pretty much talked about the color of auras and how you can determine like the colors and their meanings and kind of understand like the subjectivity of all of that. And I would say that will cross over to orbs just as well. You'll kind of get what I'm seeing there. So you can watch both of those videos. But yeah. Let's see. Any other announcements? I think. Wow, I just did all my announcements and I didn't even realize. Biggest one though, you guys, is that Saturday we have a new video and it's a collab video. I was able to reach out to Layla at the Lenormand Reader. She's like the go-to source on all things Lenormand, and she basically came and helped me make this video. She's in the video. We talk about what the heck this is, how to read with it, and you get to see it all up close and personal. I've been editing the crap out of it, and I'm so excited. It's like one of those videos that you're just like super proud to put up, you know? So that will be up Saturday. Again, Patreon members, you're going to see it a little bit sooner, so keep an eye out for that. I did not pull my cards ahead of time, but let's talk about the theme for tonight for the group reading. So tomorrow we have the full moon in Gemini. And just to give you super brief idea of what the full moon in Gemini is all about, Gemini is the sign of conversation, online comments, thoughts, anything else to do with communication. So unfortunately, Gemini is also, I guess I'm reading this from this book, taking place, like Mars is taking place right in the middle of all of this, which is the planet of anger. So basically what we need to know now for the full moon in Gemini, which you might have already been experiencing this energy, it might start tomorrow, it might start a couple days after, and that's just to remember not to lose your temper. That's kind of like the theme of this full moon. You might find that you're just quick to anger, and it might cause some like problems with communication. So it is going to calm down according to her. But yeah, that's a little bit of what this full moon in Gemini is all about. If you know your rising sign, you can kind of get even more specific details. I am going to review this book at the beginning of the year and just talk about like working with the moon. I've worked with the moon this whole entire year, and I want to share like my experiences from that. But give me a second really quick, because I didn't pull my piles for this full moon. So I'm going to choose pile 1, 2, and 3. And I'm just going to ask for more information on what you need to know for this specific full moon. So you can already suss out what energy, what card you want. All right, that's pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. I'm going to go ahead and pull the Lenormand cards just so we can see how this is going to be more specifically showing up for us. Sorry, normally I do this all before, but I totally forgot. These are much tinier cards, the Lenormand. And there's only 36 cards, whereas in the tarot there are 78. I'm so excited for you guys to see this video. That's all I've been doing, basically, is editing it. Okay, this is how it's showing up for pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Okay. We'll probably ask a question later. Awesome. You're welcome, Laura. All right. You're getting a new deck. What are you getting, Silly Rabbit? I also have ordered a new deck because I have a problem. But I'm saying that the reason why I ordered this deck is because it's a Christmas deck, and I actually had a surprising amount of Christmas parties this month. Some years I'll go without booking like any Christmas parties. This is the most I've booked, which is 3. But yeah, if you guys know my Seasons of the Witch Oracle, I have the Samhain one and the Beltane one, and so I just ordered the Yule one. I was hoping that it was going to come in for tonight because I wanted to do like a Yule reading for y'all, but it'll just have to be something that we do on the member night. It'll be in, for the member night, so in 2 weeks. Feeling lots of emotions lately. Yes, I would not be surprised with that, this Gemini being in the sign of Mars. So you are a Scorpio rising, so it's in your 8th house, Silly Rabbit. So that means it's going to be affecting your finances, credit cards, debt, sex, anything you consider taboo, inheritance, and transformation. That's interesting. We'll see how that plays out. Aquarius, so it's going to be affecting your 5th house, which is romance, creativity, kids, pleasure, love, affairs. Oh, hell no. Sagittarius, your 7th house. So this is lovers, spouses, exes, enemies, any sort of partners, including business partners. So that's where you might see a little bit of this communication issues a little bit. Taurus, we have the 2nd house, which is cash, properties, and possessions, values, including how you value yourself. So I've got these all like earmarked, and that's how I've been basically figuring out what's going on every single 2 weeks. We got full moons, new moons. I need my monies and all things pleasure. Oh shoot, the luck. Hang on 1 second. My dog is whining outside, and I'm just gonna text my husband. Okay. Any other ones? Like, let me in. I'll just ramble these off, especially if you're watching the replay really quick. So we've got Aries. So these are your rising signs, not your sun signs. So Aries rising, 3rd house, Taurus 2nd, Gemini 1st. So if you're a Gemini rising, this is like your moon. Cancer 12th, Leo 11th, Virgo, which is me, 10th, Libra 9th, Scorpio 8th, Sagittarius 7th, Capricorn 6th, Aquarius 5th, Pisces 4th. Yep, that is definitely happening already. Isn't that crazy? Cancer rising. So yeah, your 12th house, that's the house of Pisces. So you're going to see that in spirituality, beautiful connections. You're going to see that in the deepest, darkest, most sensitive part of your chart. Your fears, your spirituality, withdrawal, self-undoing, secrets. Oh, and that's also Laura. Alrighty. So I also will say that on my Patreon, I also do a group reading every single month, and it's a pick a card reading. And I basically do the energy of the month. So we just did December, and I kind of did like a pick a card. So if you're wanting like monthly forecasts and energy, definitely check out the Patreon, because every single month I try to get up some energy of what the month is going to be like. All right, let's jump into this group reading, because I'm sure you guys want to get to the individual readings. So pile 1, 2, or 3, I'm kind of asking, what is this full moon going to be like? And I'm kind of really asking this period of the full moon, but also leading into the next like major moon cycle, which is the new moon. So it's kind of like the next 2 weeks ish. All right, and pile number 1, we have take inspired action, full moon in Virgo. So this was like my card for this month as well. So pile number 1, what you all need to be doing for December is really focusing on, like, I feel like you've already done the work of knowing what you want, but this is the next step of telling the universe, I'm serious. I'm going to take inspired action. I'm going to take a step in the direction of my dreams to show you that I'm serious about this. So with the full moon, I don't know if I said, the full moon is all about like releasing, getting rid of what no longer works for you. So if you set intentions at the last full moon, go back and look at those and say, okay, what did I set intentions for? And where am I kind of straying off that path? And where do I need to release so that I can get back to those intentions? But let me see how this is going to show up for you literally. Ooh, oh my gosh. Hang on. Texting my husband again because he's not looking at his phone. Okay. So these beautiful, beautiful Lenormand cards. Pile number 1, you got the Rider and the Snake. Aren't these gorgeous? Oh, I love them. And I probably will use it. I am going to do an extra video this month. I forgot to say that as well. So many announcements when you only come on once a month. But I'm doing an extra video. It's going to be here the very last day of December. I am going to do a 2023 pick a card forecast. And that's going to be for everyone. So the Rider, how is this showing up for you? The Rider, I'm just double checking because I have a chunk of these memorized, but not the other chunk. Where the hell did it go? Oh, yeah, it's the first card. Okay, and then the Snake. Snake, 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 where'd you go? Interesting. So the Rider, okay, that's such an obvious thing. Okay, so Lenormand is very literal. You're going to see in the video that's coming up this weekend. So the Rider card, you read it in combinations. You can't read it as just like solely one. So it has to be seen as the Rider and the Snake together. So the Rider is all about like movement, speed, energy, passion. And then the Snake is like, there's a couple things for it, but really what's sticking out for me is like desire, craving, attraction. And so when it comes to taking inspired action, pile number 1, like there really needs to be movement. Like you need to get on this horse and move towards your desires. This is the energy of like not just sitting around and waiting for it to happen. It's getting on that horse and moving towards what you want. I do think too, though, that this could also be like a warning of like, look out for things that are like deceiving to you, and also like don't move so fast that you're just gonna like wear yourself out. The thing about inspired action is that it's not take 200% action, it's take inspired action. It's knowing when and where to put your energy and having it be like useful and not just like burnout, but also like not enough like to where you're lazy and you're just expecting the universe to like throw something on your lap. Does that make sense? Okay. Pile number 2, I don't think I've ever pulled this card from this deck. And we have the new moon in Virgo. Trust that all will be well. So pile number 2, I feel like you guys might have a little bit more of intense like feelings from this full moon going into the next 2 weeks. However, things are going to be really good. And I forgot to say that too in the Moonology book. Like something happens in the next couple of days with the sun to where like things get a lot easier. But I just pulled your Lenormand cards and we have the Ring and the Birds. And these are both really positive cards. So engagement, for those of you who might be watching, this can be like a definite sign of that, or just like signing a deal or like, committing to something, like having both parties like say yes. But with birds, let me double check. I know birds is positive. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not. It can be though. Oh, I see why I'm getting positive. Okay, well, the birds are traditionally about like worrying, anxiety, but that can also be excitement, and like nervousness. So I feel like pile number two, that's like where you're gonna live. Is you're gonna want to be nervous, you're gonna be want to be anxious, like in that energy. But try to fall into more of the like affirmation, like I'm excited for this instead of I'm anxious for this. Try to not worry so much. Trust that all will be well. I think you're getting way too analytical about it right now, pile number two, and maybe in the next like 2 weeks. So it's just important to remember that you're safe, you're protected, things are going to work out, and that your biggest obstacle is just kind of like these the worry, the worry about will things fall apart, will these deals not go through. I just want to make sure I'm reading that right, because that would be like commitment. Oh, yeah, I think I was missing something else. I think this is another part. The ring is about commitment, and this is a commitment to step out of your anxiety. Commit to yourself. Like, I feel like, oh, that makes so much sense, because a lot of times with anxiety, with worrying, it's very easy to just stay in that energy and not take the action that you need to do to get out of it. And we just think that, oh, well, everyone's anxious, everyone's nervous, so I'm allowed to be here. But I feel like you really have to make a commitment to trust that all is going to be well, and then it will be. But if you just like move forward expecting things to be different without changing your own mental attitude behind it, it's not going to change. I think that was the other message with this. All right. The birds. Oh, yeah. Come on, focus, focus. It's such a pretty card. These cards are so pretty, and like this camera does not do it justice. There we go. And neither does the camera that I shot the video this week with. They're just a little too reflective, so they don't like photograph well, but they're just gorgeous. They're very like simple, like minimalist style. Ooh, and a red cardinal. Yes, there is a cardinal on there. That's my sign. LOL. All right. Pile number 3, last pile for our group reading. Okay, so for this full moon, pile number 3, you need to make time for yourself. Make time for self-love. I always forget to ask which pile's for me when I start, but I kind of feel like this one's for me. So pile number 3, you definitely need to focus on releasing things that are in your way of taking care of yourself. So if there's things that you've just not been doing, that's like a normal part of your routine, like taking ritual baths or journaling or, pulling a tarot card at the end of every day. This is your time to get back into that, especially tomorrow and over the next 2 weeks. Ooh, and then for you all, for the Lenormand cards, we have the house and the stork. And again, this is asking like, how is this showing up in your life? And I know the house is very like literal in this: home, safety, establishment. And then we have the stork, which I'm pretty sure is all about like messages, right? Change. Okay, not messages. Sorry. Change, transition, movement. Oh, so pile number 3, some of you might literally be transitioning like your house situation. Like things within your home might be like moving around. Like I'm seeing maybe like for some of you it might be that your like business situation is changing up, or it could be that you're like literally moving in the middle of this. I feel like I know a lot of people that are moving right now. They don't want to be in the middle of December right before Christmas, but it's just like what's going on. So there might be okay. And I'm hearing too that there might be some like changes a little bit too in like your home life, maybe you've got a lot of people going like in and out. Maybe you're hosting a lot of events. So that might literally be what's going on, which is why it's so important for you to make time for that self-love, because it's going to feel like that home, that kind of like groundedness is a little bit unstable because it's a little bit up in the air. I'd be curious to know if anyone is moving during this month. I'm just going to make sure I'm not missing any other meanings with this. Safety, transitions. What else is the stork? Stork. Where'd you go? Movement, new cycle. Yeah, there's definitely something new, something different, something transitioning in the month of, or not the month, these next 2 weeks during this full moon. So pile number 3, just make sure to take care of yourself while all that chaos ensues. Awesome. Cool beans. We are going to go ahead and jump into individual readings tonight. Again, if you donate, I will go ahead and pull the Lenormand cards for you. Just clearing off my spice here. And if we catch up on donations, I will do guessing game readings. Hello, Jana. All right. Did we do everything we needed to do? I think so. Okay. I don't think anyone has donated yet, so let's jump into readings. I am thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you can have the first reading of tonight. I'm surprised. I guess probably don't have a lot of people in here because I forgot to put up a reminder that I was going live. You either got to have your notifications turned on or be paying attention to my calendar to show up, probably. One thing I want to get more consistent about. Nobody's got it yet. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, and you can guess more than once, you can have the next reading. Gold, Silly Rabbit, you got it. Silly Rabbit, let me know if you have a question, and I'll go ahead and pull a card. Another thing about these cards, I don't know if you can see it really well. It's got like rose gold on the side. I guess I did put this up on my Instagram. This deck is just so pretty. Ooh, fancy. Yes. The only other deck that I have that does that is actually this one. And it's got, or no, I have a couple that have the gold like foiling on the side, but this is my tarot deck that I'm using for tonight. We've got my Chromatic Fates tarot, and then we've got the Moonology deck because I figured we got full moon going on, and then the Lenormand. Let me think because a lot has gone on. No worries. Let's just do another guessing game while Silly Rabbit thinks, and then we will just kind of cue it up. Hello, Barbara. You're new here, so what we're going to do, we're playing a guessing game. Whoever guesses what I'm thinking of gets the reading. I am going to think of another color because we're just going to do colors tonight. I'm thinking of another color. If you can guess that color, then you get the new reading. And just go ahead and throw that up in the comments. You can guess more than once. So we got Silly Rabbit first. Rose gold. Not quite. Nobody's gotten it yet. That was a good guess, though. Like, I almost don't want to use these cards. Jana, you got it. Silver. I went with silver and gold because it's Christmas. And I love that song from the old claymation movie. The silver and gold song. So yeah, okay, so Silly Rabbit and then Jana, and we will continue on from there. Okay, I'm starting to lose faith that there will ever be honesty with my ex. I'd like to know if he'll come around or to just give up at this point. Like, give up forever. Okay, cool. This is such like a non-answer, which is obnoxious, but I totally get it. So what your guides gave me is reveal what needs to be seen, last quarter moon in Scorpio, and then we have the Star and the Queen of Swords. So this to me is the energy of like, you need to sit down and sort through it and think through it. So revealing what needs to be seen, this to me is the energy of like being honest with yourself about the situation, your emotions. I mean, like the first thing I heard was your fears, like any fears that are around it. So like when I first pulled this card, I was kind of like getting this like, oh, we'll just like kind of give up. But then we had the Star card, and the Star card is all about like hope. And so to me, I shouldn't say hope as much as like optimism and faith that it's going to work out for the best. That doesn't mean the outcome is necessarily what you want, because you can hope for the best for yourself. And that might be that, it doesn't work out. But it's interesting because we have the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is all about doing the inner work around your thoughts. It's really like putting pen to paper, journaling, doing a meditation, and just like sitting through these like emotions that you're going through. I feel like you've done this a lot, and I feel like this is a little probably frustrating because it feels like you're going around in circles a little bit. But I'm hearing that the biggest thing is to anchor in the intention that it is going to work out well for you. And I feel like if you're out there saying, I want this intention to be that it's going to be the best thing for me, then you're going to see pretty clearly if the situation with your ex resonates with that intention or not. I hope that makes sense. So it's really about like facing your fears and then getting clear on, what, I want the best possible scenario for us, for me, but releasing the outcome, not being attached to that outcome being that we're together or that we are apart. It's really leaving it open. But this to me, with the reveal what needs to be seen and Queen of Swords, this energy is just like, go back to the drawing board, go back to your fears, sit with your emotions, and really look at what you haven't been looking at, if that makes sense, which again, I feel like is a little bit of a non-answer. But to me, when that happens, I feel like our guides are trying to say there's a way that it could work out, but we're trying so hard to make it fit into a box, and maybe that box isn't for us. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean like it can't work out. It might just be that those fears or the constraints that you're putting on it is preventing it from working out in a better way where you do stay together. I hope that makes sense. No worries, Jana. And you can always watch replay if you have to skedaddle off. Let's see. I went to talk to my boss again. I wanted to know what I would be teaching, but she said she wasn't sure and didn't really give me any time or much information to really understand her plan. Awesome. I am kind of hearing like, Jana, like, first off, like, don't stress out about it too much. Like, to see it as like a blessing is literally what they're telling me before I even pull cards, because that person is not worried about it, so you shouldn't be worried about it. And I'm hearing that you're going to pivot how you need to. Hey everyone, if you are just now joining us, basically I've got a list. We've got Silly Rabbit and which I just did, Jana is next. And after that, we will either do donations. So if you do donate, you get to the top of that list. Otherwise, we'll keep playing more guessing games and you could get your question answered. May I have more information about what they're doing? It just feels stressful. Are they happy with me? I don't know what I should ask. Okay, let me just ask one question to kind of hopefully sum all of that up. I knew this card was going to match what I was feeling. Embrace the flow of life. Like, just go with the flow. Because again, answering that upper part, like, I just feel like they're not worried about it, so you shouldn't be worried about it. Just kind of go with the flow. Be ready when they are. Let me just pull the additional cards, though, to give you more insight on the situation. Because I don't feel like they're unhappy with you. I just feel like they're not the best planners. Yeah, because I got the High Priestess and the King of Cups. So to me, Vienna, I pulled the High Priestess in reverse. This is saying you're not using your intuition around it. You're, relying on the anxieties, the worries, more than you are, like, trusting your gut with it. And then I have the King of Cups, which to me is like emotional contentment. Like, you're doing everything you possibly could, literally, to make them happy. So don't worry about it. Embrace the flow of life. Oh, also, this is the full moon in Gemini, which is tomorrow. So Jana, that to me says that maybe what's going on with this energy of, like, them not being clear has everything to do with the full moon in Gemini. If you missed kind of me talking about that in the beginning, this full moon is kind of screwing with our communications. So, like, I feel like it's probably going to get better in a couple days. So maybe just wait like a week or so to really, like, push forward on that. But to me, this is saying, like, you're doing everything right. Just take a break. Relax. Which I know is easier said than done. Don't you love that, silly rabbit? I don't have PayPal, but I have Venmo, or you can pay using the little $sign through the app here on YouTube. And that's what Super Chat is. All right, so let's jump to our next individual reading. I don't think we have any donations, so we'll do another guessing game. Again, my member timer is ticking. So here's a comment closest to that when it goes off. They'll get a reading. Good night, Jana. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I'm going to think of something. I'm going to think of something. I'm going to think of a flower. If you can guess the flower that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. Adrian, bam, Rose, she got it. Adrian, let me know what question you have. Again, if you don't want to wait, you can donate. We'll get you to the top of the list. Otherwise, we'll just kind of keep doing the guessing games. But if you do donate, we're going to use the Lenormand cards. Oh, that was loud. Sorry. I'm going to play with them right now because it's like all I can think about editing this video. Ship. Which one is the ship? Three. Departure. They're so literal. So literal. I will say, too, that at the beginning of the new year, in our next live night, like, that's actually, like, public live, I am going to ask y'all to participate in a survey. I'm going to make a survey just kind of asking what you enjoy about my channel, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. I haven't built it yet, but I'm going to basically build that. And if you are all willing to participate in it, I'm going to choose one random person that fills out the survey to get a free reading. So look out for that. If you're not, like, subscribed to me here or following my social media channels. I also have a newsletter that I'll put it out on. So another chance to win a free reading from me. Should I purchase the Shaman's Oracle? Let's ask. Whoa, that one flew out. Work through your feelings. Last quarter moon in Aries. You know, Adrian, I kind of am getting like this little. Is that your thoughts though? Hello, is that her thoughts? Yes. Okay. So I think you're definitely like, oh shoot, what if I get it and it's not like resonating with me, or I'm not going to enjoy it? So I think the work through your feelings card is all about like maybe lowering the expectations of like, if I get it, you know, and I don't like it, I'm going to be okay with it and I'm going to continue to read with him. And if you decide, no, that doesn't feel good, like that's not worth the potential money lost or something, then maybe it's actually working through those feelings and saying, you know what, maybe I should find some remedies to this situation. Like I'm hearing like if you can get your hands on it, to really like look at it and make sure that you enjoy it. Like Adrian, if you haven't already, almost every tarot deck or oracle deck out there, somebody has done like a unboxing video, and literally what they'll do is they'll just like film themselves opening it and flipping semi quickly through every card so you can kind of see like if you resonate with it. So like I'm hearing like that might help you sort through this feeling of like, what if it's like not something I resonate with? And I kind of have a feeling you might not. Like I think you identify and you resonate with like the shamanic practices, but I feel like this deck in particular, it's just not going to click with you. That doesn't mean you can't go out and buy it. I will say, like for me, I usually check out an unboxing video, or I go to like my local metaphysical store. Sometimes they'll have open boxes that they will let you thumb through. My store actually puts them all like in binders. Like they grab like 6 or 7 cards and put it in a binder. What else was I gonna say? Otherwise, if you don't like it, there is like a Facebook group that is like Tarot Swap. And that's how I've gotten rid of several of my decks that I just didn't resonate with anymore. I just found someone else within the group that, you know, wanted to try it out and also had something that I wanted to try out. And so you just ship it to each other. And then it's not like you're just throwing away a deck. You know, someone else is actually going and using it. So, yes. Hopefully that helps, Adrian. Cool. What time is it? 7:43. Has my timer gone off yet? Almost. Okay, let's do another individual reading. I don't think we have donations yet, so I am going to think of a animal. If you can think of the animal that I'm thinking of, then you will get the next reading. Silly Rabbit. What is with you guys? You're getting it like first try. So Silly Rabbit got it. It was a rabbit or a bunny. Silly Rabbit, though, you got the previous free reading. So my rule with that is that you got to give it to somebody else. If you donated, you could keep it. But if you get it more than once, I just ask that you pass it along to somebody else that might want that reading. Or else we'll sometimes have like people who guess all of them like 3 times in a row. And I had that happen like once or twice. And I was like, you know what? I need to make a rule so other people can get in on this. Who didn't get it? Well, I can tell you that Jana, you, and Adrian have had a reading so far. Okay, Barbara. Awesome. Barbara, let me know what your question is, and I'll go ahead and pull some cards. Oh, dismiss. I don't think we have any members in here, do we? Because that's my member timer. And I'm scrolling back all the way to the beginning. We don't have any members in here tonight. I think what I'll do is I'll just skip it. I'm a sole member. I think what I'm going to do is just skip it so that we have more time for more people to possibly get free readings. Ooh, okay. When and when will I be moving? Okay. Well, if you chose pile number 3 at the group reading, it might be in December. I know I said I didn't want to pull Lenormand cards, but I'm cheating because I'm worried nobody's going to donate tonight, and I really want to play with these. And I'm only going to do it for you, Barbara, also because your question is very well suited for it. Okay. So I did, because you asked 2 questions and they're kind of like future questions and the future can change. I'm kind of asking, what do you need to know? Like, how can you manifest this move? And the advice that I got is reflect on your priorities. So this to me is saying that when you reflect on your priorities, when you take this advice, you're going to manifest moving a lot sooner. And to me, this is saying like maybe you haven't given like the full energy and time to actually move. Like, have you taken the inspired action towards like going around and shopping for houses? Like, have you actually gone and like talked to like a lone person? Like that's kind of where I'm getting, is that you've actually, even though you want it really bad, I feel like you've been spending like your time and energy on other priorities. And then I pulled, again, the more literal cards to kind of ask your first question of when and will and when you'll be moving. And I got the bouquet and the rider. And the bouquet is good stuff. And the rider is kind of like a neutral card. And the bouquet, social life, appreciation, passion, speed, activity. This is confusing. I'm not like completely adept at this. Okay, bouquet. I'm hearing that it's this social life. Like with the bouquet, social life. Okay, I think I know what this means. To me, this is kind of saying when you take movement on getting like social, like about this, like calling up other people, maybe talking to other people about your dreams, your wishes, your intentions, saying like, hey, I'm going to manifest this house. Or maybe you're going out and about and you're hanging out with like a lot of friends and you're just being like very like outward and active. The bouquet to me also is about, or not the bouquet, sorry, the rider is also the energy of just like movement. You're taking action. And when we're talking about like socializing, this to me again is kind of saying like, I'm moving forward by talking to the loan providers. I'm moving forward by talking to friends to see if I can't get like help or advice or money. But it feels like taking inspired action, like once you reflect on your priorities, I feel like you're going to find out that, you know what, I need to actually spend more time and energy trying to manifest this and not just like let it fall into my lap. And it requires you like really talking to other people. I think that's what it's about. Because I feel like if you want this to manifest a lot sooner, it's going to be this energy of, I'm going to talk about it a lot. I'm going to find help. I'm going to find resources, and not saying like this action alone will just like make you manifest a house like magically overnight, but it's going to put you in that direction. And so like overall, it kind of feels like on the trajectory you're on now, I don't feel like you're going to manifest this house. I feel like eventually you will, but if you want it to happen a lot quicker, you need to be a lot clearer with your intentions and start taking that outward action and tell the universe, I'm serious about this. I'm going to go walk around some homes, some open houses. I might not buy them, but I'm showing the universe, hey, I want this. I'm serious. You know what I mean? So hopefully that helps, Barbara. I do feel like the timing of this one again is like, it's not so much when as much as like if you do this or not, if you kind of take this advice, that's going to really change up the timeline. Because I'm hearing it could be as like soon as 9 months, or it could be like years and years. I just feel like you're putting it on the back burner, and it really needs to like, I just saw the image of like a rug. Like you need to take the rug and like go beat it outside, get the dirt out of it. Just the idea of it. You need to come at it with like a much fresher approach. Yes. You're welcome, Barbara. My best bet is watching the unboxing because I live in Jamaica. Yeah, that's a bummer. I watched a couple, but the only thing I like about that deck is the images. Well, and Adrian, maybe that's where you kind of change that like opinion of like, you know what, maybe instead of going in and reading the book, I'm going to just set the intention that I'm only going to read from the images. And that could be a good like psychic development challenge of like not even bothering with the booklet or the the words on the cards, just like really choosing to read from the imagery, which is totally valid. Awesome. Thank you, Jordan. Let's jump into this. Okay, so this is number 5. Or no. Or yes, because that was Barbara. And now we have Jordan. I'm probably going to do 3 more after Jordan, just to let y'all know. 3 more. Okay. Need some help with this vision. Was meditating and saw this large being with long white hair and with galaxies and stars behind him. I got a feeling he's me somehow on a larger scale, but could use your output on this experience. I'm like literally thinking of Santa Claus. Was that intuitive or not? That was not intuitive. Okay. And, long white hair. It's Christmas time. I think my analytical mind jumped in there and thought Santa, which I do think, Saint Nick, if there's enough people that believe in like the energy of something, it can totally be real. Unless Jordan, that like somehow resonates with you, I'm just going to toss that in the trash. Damn, I'm Santa Claus. Yep. You're welcome, Jordan. Your reading's over. There might be something to that, but I did just double check. When I'm not sure, I just ask. I say, hey, is this my thoughts or is this intuitive? And I just heard that no, that was not. So going with that gut. Okay. Got a feeling he's me somehow. This one is just like escaping me. And I think it's because there's like, I'm hearing that there's more to this. Like you might not have seen the full picture, but I feel like you're missing pieces to it. So one thing I will say, Jordan, is that you can always go back into a vision or a meditation. And what you do is like you set the intention as you're sitting down to meditate and say, and I made sure to cover this in my masterclass course because I hadn't put it in my first course. But basically you can go into the past and think about that situation, that vision, try to put yourself back there, release the outcome after that. You're just kind of saying, hey guys, I'm back here. Your message, what were you trying to say? Can you show me in another way? Don't expect it to look the exact same. I think the more you try to put that constraint on it, the less accurate that message is coming through. But yeah, I'm hearing that there's more to it and you don't have the full pieces. So let me just ask in general what it's about, and it's about detoxifying. I'm just gonna pull some additional cards on this. Okay. It's definitely about you not like recognizing your worth. And maybe they were showing this to you so that you could like really see your full potential. Um, since the box was so small, he had a bident or a trident of some sort. And I'm going with your like gut feeling that he's somehow you, or that there's some similarities here. At the most, I'm hearing like it might be that his energy and his like whoever he is, whatever he's about, is the energy that you need right now. And this is more of like coaching advice. But the bident trident, like to me, and the long white hair, I'm thinking Poseidon, even though you're seeing galaxies and stars. Was that Poseidon? I'm kind of hearing that it's not a guide. It's like a version. It could be a version of yourself. I'm just seeing like the mixture of energies. Like it could be this guide, it could be that guide. It's all mixing together. It's not in a book somewhere. It was more symbolic. I think it was symbolic, and I think this was trying to show you something. Maybe you didn't have the full pieces. And so let me go to these cards. So I have detoxify. So maybe he was coming in to show you what you could be, and maybe that energy, you were supposed to kind of tune into it and be like, oh, okay, this is really crazy intense. I don't feel like I'm anywhere close to that. What is preventing me from feeling like that energy? So I would maybe go back into just like thinking about it in that way of like, if he was trying to offer up energy to me, if he was trying to make me feel like a big, powerful being with the stars and galaxies behind him, because I just heard you're bigger than this life, then you can ask yourself, like, again, what feelings does that bring up for me? And maybe they're feelings of like shame or negativity or not feeling good enough. And I feel like that's kind of the energy of where you need to detoxify. Like, I feel like this is all in a generic sense about being worthy, because I have the 4 of Cups and the 6 of Cups. And this is all about like emotions, about you. Literally, the 4 of Cups, this card, the universe is pouring abundance into her cup, and she's looking the other way, and it's like spilling out because she's not paying attention. And so that is kind of similar with this detoxified card. The 6 of Cups is also like, to me, not recognizing your true self. Now, I'm not saying like you're totally off path and you're like totally the wrong person. Not saying that at all. It's more just like it's looking under the mask at where you can expand, because the 6s are all about expansion. Like, where can I expand? And that's interesting because I pulled the 3 of Swords. And this is usually like the heartbreak card. But I don't feel like this is happening. Like, I feel like, if anything, this has already happened. And this is about like those bittersweet emotions after endings. Like when something ends, when you have closure, like you still need to detoxify from that situation in a little bit of a way. But it's also about like, who am I after this situation? Honestly, taking a step back, the whole energy of like everything that's coming through kind of feels like they're trying to show you that you can expand and get into something bigger, like a bigger, better version of yourself. And I think for whatever reason, all of those little things were like messages, and we might have like missed them, but that's okay. You can always say, hey, again, can you show me in another way? I'm just going to pull 2 more cards. Okay, 3 more cards with the Lenormand, to ask, what was this vision about? Ooh, okay. So we have, thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie, I'll get to you next. Okay, so we have the Scythe, Jordan, and the Clouds, and the Book. This is so literal. I love the Lenormand. Okay, so with clouds, I'll just skip to that one really quick. That's all about confusion. Like being in the clouds, like think about the like fog in your head. There's a little bit of mental confusion here. To me, this is saying like you're just not getting the full picture. Again, that doesn't mean like that you can't like get this message, period. There was just misunderstanding about the literal knowledge that was trying to like come through. Now the scythe, let me just double check. Hasty decisions, speed, accidents. So I think you were being like hasty with trying to find the clarity around this situation. And because of it, it created confusion in the literal meaning. Isn't that so cool how Lenormand works? So if I'm not describing it, you read it 2 and 2. So we have hasty, like clarity, like you were being really fast, or maybe you were just too eager about the outcome, or maybe you got out of the meditation too quickly. So it led to confusion with the messages that are coming through. But I will say, Jordan, with the book card, the book is all about learning, like going back to the source. Like there's more information here. It's a very good card. Love it. Let me just see if Jordan had anything else to say. And also your Santa Claus. Was there anything about Santa Claus? Like maybe in the sense of like when we think of Santa Claus, we're like, oh, he's fake, mythical being. And maybe there's a little bit of that same energy with you of like, can I be this new version of myself? Can I expand? Oh my gosh, no, it feels so silly. It feels like completely impossible. So like when this comes through, like you might not have had the full picture on a previous message, that kind of to me is like let go of the message and try again. Don't get so hung up on the imagery, what was said, what happened. Yeah, totally up to you, Adrian. But again, like what was that card? Sort through the emotions. Do all the, like when I see that, I kind of think like pros and cons for buying it, not buying it, buying, not buying it. All right. Thank you, Stephanie, for the donation. Okay, you are wondering if Spirit had any advice about how I can get the best vet internship from me. Oh, how fun. You want to be a zoo vet. Awesome. Like Santa, maybe I don't actually. Okay, so Stephanie, overall advice first, and then I'll pull some more cards. Honestly, Stephanie, like I'm hearing that it's going to work out. Like you might have to apply for a couple places, but I'm literally hearing that they're desperate for like more help. And that if anything, it's that you're going to be worrying too much. And sometimes when you worry, you stress yourself out way too much. And then like it affects how you act at like, you know, the interviews and stuff. Like I'm hearing it's going to work out eventually because I'm hearing your credentials are good. Like you're smart. You've got it on paper. Like this isn't like a pipe dream. Like you've thought it out. You've planned very well. Interesting. And so we've got, again, the full moon in Gemini, which is tomorrow, literally. So, Stephanie, I would, again, when this card is coming out, just with it being so specific to right now, to me, this is saying communication might get a little bit more clear towards the end of the month. Like you might have a lot more clarity on the situation. But this card is embrace the flow of life. We pulled this earlier. When this card comes out, it's kind of just like go with the flow. Don't stress out too much. However, I did pull it with attend to the details. And that to me is just saying like, do the work. Like I'm seeing my newsletter card. I did a newsletter yesterday and I always pull a card for the month, in my newsletter. And the energy of December is very much like, get it done, get it out of the way so you can go have fun and enjoy yourself. And that's kind of like the balance you have here, Stephanie, of I need to attend to the details. I'm going to finish applying. I'm going to get everybody my resumes, but then I'm just going to let it go. And I'm going to leave it up to the universe. I'm going to go with the flow. Whenever they get back to me, they get back to me. I'm not going to like push it. I'm not going to like freak out and give up and, cancel your email, and then they like never hear from you again when they're like trying to reach out to you and like find you again. And like the only reason why I'm giving that example is like I feel like your biggest obstacle is just like the anxiety over the situation might cause you to do something that like would negatively affect it. Not saying like you're going to go and like delete your email, but it's like similar energy of like maybe you get so anxious you turn off your phone for the night and you like miss a call. Not like don't get anxious about missing the call, but I hope that makes sense. Here, let me pull some more cards. Any more clarity on kind of what's going to happen with this? Okay. So we have, I just did past, present, future really quick. I'm kind of doing the same spreads for everyone that donates. So we have the Six of Cups in reverse. This to me, Stephanie, says you put the best version of yourself up. Like you're not hiding anything. You're being very clear. Like you didn't miscommunicate anything. Like they see you and you're like stuff for who you are. Like it's accurate. It's correct. Like there shouldn't be a fear of like, did I not say the right thing or did I not do the right thing? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune card in the present. And so this is you. You're literally waiting for your Wheel of Fortune to spin and to see what that fortune is going to be. So you're blindfolded. You're not quite sure what's going to happen. But what I love about this card is that it's literally saying that fortune is kind of guaranteed. Like it might not be one position, but it might be another position. Again, kind of that energy I was feeling up front of like, you might have to apply to a couple and it's going to work out. But this to me is saying that it's going to happen. You're just in this awful waiting period where you don't know. And that's the hardest part. And then I laughed because in the future position, we got the anxiety card in reverse. So this to me is saying the anxiety is going to be over with. So at least you can feel good about that. But this to me says that the focus is more like around your like worry about it than you actually getting it. So that to me says like it's probably definitely going to happen. But the quicker you can kind of release the anxiety around it, I think. Let me just pull 2 cards for you from the Lenormand, and I'm just going to ask. Wait, was it that one? Hang on. Let me reshuffle. What is my question? My question is, I'm just going to ask your same question again. Any more advice on, or no, I'm going to ask, how can you manifest this? That's what I'm going to do. Ooh, and we got the Key card, and love it. And then we got the Woman card. So let me just double check my meetings. But again, for those of you who are jumping in, I'm using the Lenormand cards because this Saturday I'm going to have a new video on how to use the Lenormand. And it's just a freaking amazing system. It's so different than the tarot and the oracle. Unlocking. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. The key is all about unlocking yourself. So the female card in this deck is literally you. It could also be like somebody else involved in like you applying for this like program. I think I'm gonna pull one more card just because this is like a significator. So it's technically it's a neutral card. It's kind of odd, but to me, this is saying like the only thing that's needed is just unlocking yourself or unlocking your own potential. And I feel like you've already done that, or like there's nothing else required. Like it's not about your resume. It's not about someone else like making this big decision. It's about you trusting that you are good enough for this. And I just pulled one more card just because that Woman card is technically, you kind of don't read it like a card. It's more like a filler. But this to me is saying that it's all reliant on you. Like the advice is that you are the one who's going to bring this about, not anybody else. Like you have the potential. You have the potential to unlock this opportunity. You don't need anything else. And then we have the Moon card, which is about emotions, fears, and intuition. So when we're reading this as a sentence, which you do in Lenormand, again, this video will come out Saturday and you'll understand what the heck I'm talking about. You're supposed to combine them. So first you read the key and the woman, and then you read the woman and the moon. And then you kind of combine the meaning as a whole. So when we have the woman and the moon, this is saying that your fears are the ones that can get in your way. However, when you trust your intuition, trust your gut, and kind of overcome those fears, that is going to be the key to unlocking this opportunity for you and for you not worrying and stressing out about it so much. I hope that makes sense. I love those cards. Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for donating. Okay, we're going to do 2 more readings before we wrap up the end of the night. And if you donated, you can still do another guessing game and get another potential reading. However, with only 2 left, if you really want to get one tonight, go ahead and send in those donations. Let's clean these up. Alrighty. Alright. Let me think of a new... I'm just going to go back to colors because I'm not very creative. I am thinking of another color. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, then you will get the second to last reading of the night. Not green. Not black. Pink. Rhonda, you got it. Rhonda, let me know what your question is, and I'll pull some cards and go ahead and answer. I forgot to also say that if you are part of the Patreon, at the beginning of the new year, we are going to do like a hangout session. So not necessarily readings. We're just going to do a new year, like intention setting. Everyone bring like something warm to drink, maybe a glass of wine. And we're just going to like chill on on Google Meets and kind of like Zoom, basically. We're just going to hang out, chat, get to know each other, and kind of like bring in the new year and set some intentions. So if you want to join us, you'll have to be on Patreon. Patreon is basically like my membership place. So you sign up for a subscription every month, like as if you were on Netflix or something, and you get a certain amount of content from me depending on like what tier you signed up as. And basically that's just a way that I can make sure that I can keep creating free content for you all. But as like a thank you, you get even more content over there for supporting me in that way. So just letting you know, we're going to have that event sometime in January. If you want to join up and like get a group intention setting going, if you think that'll help you set some good goals for the year. I heard pink in my head. Your clairaudience is getting better. Nice. So after Rhonda, we'll have one more reading. One last one. So if you want it, donate it, or we'll just do our last guessing game. Ooh, good question, Rhonda. Let's ask. I still ask not to see ghosts, though. That's totally fine. All right. I still be scared. I think that's totally fair. You know, that's fantastic, Silly Rabbit. Do you think it has improved your life using your intuition more? Like, and a follow-up question, do you use your intuition to read other people, or is it mostly just for your own purposes, like your own day-to-day life? Because I think a lot of people, again, think that they have to become a psychic and read other people in order to develop their intuition. But I think you can totally use it for your own personal, like, you know, life, not have to share it with anybody. And I think it can seriously improve your life. So curious about your testimony, Silly Rabbit. Okay. This is interesting, Rhonda. I'm getting like two different things here. Oh, I see. Okay. I just went and clarified. So I did get the take a breather card, but I pulled it in reverse, which kind of caught my eye. And then I asked about it because the rest of your cards that I pulled, I don't feel like you should take a breather. Like, I don't feel like this is like take a break and slow down. Obviously, if you feel like that is needed, please go ahead and do that. But this is to me is like taking a breather emotionally from it. So you can like take a break from like the anxieties, the fears, like take a step back and just like calm yourself, but still do the same amount of work. Because honestly, Rhonda, like I feel like the opportunity that you have is that you could mentally kind of take it a step back, but or I should say emotionally, like not worry so much about it. Um, taking a break emotionally from it. Like they're because I'm not being clear. They just gave me the word like sabbaticals. Obviously, sabbaticals are like really long periods of time sometimes. Other times they're short, but like think about it as like taking they just showed me like eat, pray, love, like taking like a break from your like career for a little bit. If that resonates, maybe it is that you like want to take like a little bit longer of a break. But I don't feel like you're necessarily in the wrong position or like you need to slow down or cut so many things off your plate or like completely pivot. It's more of just like emotionally not giving it so much weight. Especially because I feel like in the past there's been some really rough moments with it and you might have really just emotionally been put through the ringer in regards to your career. But it's interesting because now where you're at is you are this empress. You are the boss of where you get to go. And so this to me is saying like if you have this energy when you come into your career, it's going to be fine. You're going to be good because you set the boundaries, you decide, what you need, what you want, you take care of yourself. Like I feel like this is literally the boss bitch energy card. Like, maybe you're not the boss, but this to me says like you're not going to be taken advantage. Like you're going to be okay, you're going to be safe and protected and you're going to thrive. So like honestly, this message feels more about like not worrying again so much and understanding that you're going to be okay and that you can energetically, emotionally take like a step back without actually like leaving. And I feel like it's going to make it better, especially because we have the 4 of Wands. And this is like stability, celebration, like groups of people, the energy just feeling really good in your career in the future because you're really just in alignment with yourself and what you're passionate about. And I think it all comes down to this taking a breather card, but this is like taking an emotional breather, like really sorting through your priorities, maybe just like not doing as much work, setting some goals for the new year or like the next couple years. Um, because I do feel like what's going to come out of this is you're going to have like a lot of ideas, excitement, passion. You're going to go on them. But again, you're going to have this Empress energy of like, I know when to like pull back and not do too much. And because of that, I think you're going to just be in a really good spot. Obviously, the future can change, but that's what I'm reading right now. Am I missing anything else? Taking a breather. Like I'm hearing like the whole like idea of like work less, make more. Like that's the energy behind this. And there's one other thing that I keep forgetting to share. It's like the idea of like quiet quitting. If you've heard of that, maybe look it up if you haven't, Rhonda. There's like this quiet quitting, which is like you don't actually quit, but you're just like, you're not going to go above and beyond expectations. You're just going to do your job and that's it. um, okay. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Rhonda. I think we are on our last reading of the night. It doesn't look like anyone donated, which means it's up for fair game for our free reading guessing game. You keep having apocalyptic visions. The other night, I just kept seeing nuclear bomb go off in super slow motion. Michael, I have those dreams too. Yay. And I will say, Michael, check out my, I want to say it's my dreaming series. And I talk about interpreting dreams because I give that as an example of how, like, sometimes your dreams are literal. Like, that's the literal message is a bomb is going to go off. But I think most of the time, they're symbolic. And so, like, it might be that your world is falling apart. It feels like the world is going to crap because you're anxious, depressed, whatever. And so sometimes our dreams or our visions that we have are like reflections of what's going on and not actual truths, if that makes sense. So maybe check that out, that video. Oh, I love that, Silly Rabbit. That's why I love my spiritual team too. They get me in a much different way, you know? And you know you've never been alone. I feel magical. Oh, I love that. Thanks for sharing, Silly Rabbit. I've never thought about it in that way. But yeah, I think that's so true because sometimes it doesn't feel like you have anybody on your side. But when you can tap into that intuition, it's like there's so many people rooting for me and helping me get to where I am. And, you know, even from my own perspective, it's like I don't feel like I've had a whole lot of help outside of like my own self. Like, in the last couple of years, I've had to get where I've wanted to get all on my own, and that can be really like stressful. And when you have a cheerleading support team in spirit, it can help keep you motivated and keep you going. If you don't have that in your personal life, it's a lot harder. You're welcome, Rhonda. Thanks for stopping by. If y'all are new here, please subscribe. We do these once a month. I also do them more often on the Patreon. Yeah. I started reading random people or friends just to build confidence. Oh, I sort of knew that. I've seen your Instagram a little bit. Cool. Keep getting startled and keep thinking of earthquakes when Hubby moves. Yeah, I don't know. That could be psychic. It could be not psychic. It could be symbolic. It could be literal. I talk about all of that in my masterclass that I just filmed. It won't be out until the beginning of the year. Not like super beginning. Probably like my goal is like March at the latest. We'll see. I think it'll be a lot easier to edit. We'll see. I'm just going to give myself a break for the rest of the year, and then I'm going to jump back into it in January. Okay, so let me really quick do our last free reading of the night since no one donated. I'm just going to stick with colors. I'm thinking of our last color of the night. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, then you get this final reading. Silly Rabbit, your intuition is on point tonight because it was purple. However, you've already gotten 2, so why don't you pass it along to somebody else again? See, that's what I mean. Silly Rabbit might have gotten 3 readings tonight, which I know, Silly Rabbit, you're probably like, I could use it, but I come on here so rarely. We got to try to get to as many people as we can because I know not everyone can afford seeing a psychic, and sometimes you really just need that advice. All right. So Silly Rabbit's going to pick one other person to give the reading to. If you want it, maybe throw up an emoji so she knows who to choose from. And really quick, because some of you might head out, just know that I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can follow me there. Again, we're on Patreon. We have monthly Q&A videos. We have monthly pick a card readings. We also do a member-only live night. We also do a psychic game night. What else am I missing? You also get early access to my videos. So tons of stuff happening over on the Patreon. And also I have a podcast. So if you really like listening to me ramble a lot and you're impatient for like new videos to come out, check out my podcast. I am going to record a new episode pretty soon. I'm going to record an episode on like, how do you get started being like a spiritual person? Or like, I had somebody ask me this at a party. They're like, I've gotten so many messages that I need to like meet my guides and jump into my intuition, but I'm not like a spiritual person. I don't even know where to start. And I just like have been thinking and thinking about that question, and I basically am making a whole podcast on it. So yeah, podcast, and then new video this Saturday. We're going to be talking about the Lenormand, which is this cutie pie of a little deck here. If you're on Patreon, you're going to get early access to that Wednesday, Thursday. I shall pick the one I like. Beautiful connection it is. Awesome. Thank you, Silly Rabbit. Beautiful connection. Let me know. I'm losing my voice already. Let me know what your question is, and I will go ahead and answer that, and we will wrap it up for tonight. And again, I will see you all next Tuesday for our psychic game night for my members. And the following week after that, we're going to do a member live night. And I hopefully will have my Yule deck by then. We'll do Yule card readings. Also going to do an extra video this month, which is going to be the pick a card for 2023. And yeah, hoping to make more content on the other side of the year. I miss doing my weekly videos. I feel like it's not enough, but I'm trying to like figure out, is that because I really want to create more, or is it because I'm anxious about the lack that I'm creating? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to burn out myself. I've definitely done that bajillions and millions of times, and I'm tired of it. Any other repeat announcements? I think that's it. Excited to get that course up to y'all. What can I do to get more disciplined with my health? Love it. Beautiful connection. Let's ask. You know, I saw this book earlier today, Beautiful Connection. Maybe it's worth like checking out, reading the synopsis to see if you're like interested or if it resonates. But there's this book called Atomic Habits. And it's funny because I was going to buy it for somebody for Christmas, but then I decided not to. So maybe that's why I was supposed to see it. Was somebody else tonight was supposed to know about it. You need to lighten up, Beautiful Connection. Whenever I get this card for people, they always literally laugh out loud. Lighten up, last quarter moon in Leo. So like Beautiful Connection, I feel like this is just taking a breath and just like not worrying about it so much. Like, I feel like you're in your head about all the ways you have done it wrong, all the ways you could do it wrong. You're just like over analyzing it to a point like you're in analysis paralysis. And maybe this is also a message of like not being too rigid with it, because that's what I used to do. Like, I would like get after myself if I didn't work out every single day for like the week or something, and if I missed a day, it would derail me to a point where I wouldn't do anything. I would beat myself up. Like, that's similar energy to what I'm getting. But it's like I'm hearing like slow and steady wins the race. So lighten up on the days that you can't do it. And don't like beat yourself up. Like, I feel like your own mental self-sabotage is in your way. So we are on the last reading of the night. Sorry about that, but you can join us next time. You can always see when my next live night is going to be in the description down below. And then Beautiful Connection, we also have the Boundaries card and the Lovers card. So we have the Emperor and the Lovers. So the Emperor is like setting some expectations, setting some like goals or boundaries around the situation. Maybe you don't quite have that. Maybe all you have is just like, I should do this, and then you don't do it and you just beat yourself up. So having like something, maybe if it's just like, I'm going to go out and walk once a week, and that's where I'm going to start. One thing that like personally I found helpful, this is just Lauren advice, not necessarily intuitive, but I found that I slowly take things away and slowly add things. Like maybe the next day I decide, you know what, I'm going to not drink soda. I'm just going to try to really focus on cutting back the soda. And then once I'm done with the soda, maybe I'll add something like I'm really going to try to eat one meal today that's like uber healthy. And I slowly remove and slowly add. I don't know what my point of that was, but like there needs to be some sort of plan, some sort of structure. And I think that right now there's just none of that. Maybe there is, but just more boundaries around the situation. Like you're not holding yourself accountable. No one else is holding yourself accountable. Like you still need a little bit of that, but again, like be loose with it. Don't be so rigid with it. And then with the Lover's card, this to me says like playing to your own strengths. Maybe there's some things that you've been doing that just aren't for you. Like maybe you've decided, I need to go out running, but maybe you really hate that. And that's not something that's playing to your own strength. Like one of the things that I do for like working out is I dance because I love to dance. I'm hella embarrassed of it. I make sure to close all my blinds and do it on YouTube. I won't even let like my husband be around, but I like watch like workout dance videos because they get me so excited that it doesn't feel like I'm working out. So that's like something I do to play to my strengths versus like running out in public. That would not be for me. Now it could be totally different for you, but it's like do something that actually makes you happy, that, works for you. Play to what I don't know. There's like another way to say this, but playing to your own strengths instead of feeling like you have to sign up and do what everyone else is doing. Because like I keep seeing like yoga, like maybe you think that yoga is not enough, but it definitely can be as far as a workout, especially if you're focusing on taking things one step at a time. Like sometimes when I have been really bad about like not working out or like eating well, the next day, what I'll do is just say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to cut out my glass of wine at the end of the night and I'm going to add in stretching. Like not even going to focus on working out yet. I'm just going to do the next easy thing, and stretching is on that path, John, I'm not going to read you. That was the last reading of the night. You can ask please as many times as you want. I love dancing. I haven't done it, but I used to be a dancing. Yes. You should check out the Fitness Marshall. It might not be your vibe, but I love him and I love the dance videos that he creates because he's just like crazy high energy and he's funny. He makes me laugh. And he basically makes workout exercise videos to really popular songs. So yeah, if anyone else wants to take it, feel free. I love the Fitness Marshall. He's hilarious. Cool beans. I think that was the last reading of the night. Thank you all for being here. I will see you on my socials. I will see you in Patreon. And I will see those of you who are joining our psychic game night next week. And yeah, stick around. Make sure you subscribe to see the new Lenormand video on Saturday. So excited about it. Anything else? I think that's it. I've like covered my announcements like 400 times, so I don't want to like talk your guys' ear off. Alrighty, bye. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Oh, and if you want to know when I'm going to be live next, you can always look in the link down below. Basically my link tree. You can go to my events page. You can find my link tree basically anywhere, and you can see when I'm going to be live next. Alrighty, adios. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday and have a good full moon. Try not to let the anger get away with you. And I think it'll get hopefully a little bit better in a few days. And I'm hoping that communication will clear up if you are having any of those issues. Alrighty, have a good night. Bye.